in a new day, and we're going to be doing more bird snares to get hunter up. Oh, I put 2 down. So if you ever accidentally put 2 down, happens to do with lag as we hit 38 hunter, just make sure you only click 1 and the timer doesn't start on the other one until someone harvests from it. So with our bird snares coming to an end here, we got all the way up to level 41 hunter, which is pretty good for not having trained the skill at all. After finishing that, we swapped into a Reaper task where we used our main account to help kill KBD. We'll be using Reaper task pretty exclusively early on for Slayer, as we got all the way up to 34 from 22 there. Now we're switching into a more skilling focused series for a little bit. We're gonna start crafting by getting it up to level 20 here using molten glass. I believe this is the best way at the early levels. The leather armor doesn't really do a lot. Molten glass is really cheap because of the RDT. And as you see, we're already at 20 in what was only a couple minutes. As we were going to the desert to do a quest, I thought I would stop by the portable brazier to use our logs, as we needed to get 43 and later on 62 for future requirements. So we're coming through here, we go to oak logs at 15, and now a bit of a genius thing, because there's pulse cores here, that actually boosted us up to 32, so even though we're 27, we're able to use willow logs at 27. Same thing here, we're switching to teak because we have the pulse core boost, so we're switching early and we're getting a lot of experience, including in agility from our silverhawk feathers. Now we're 43, so we're going to take a break from fire making. Now the next quest we're doing is the golem. It had a 20 crafting requirement, which is why we did that before, because we want to go through and get it. So this will allow us to get super anti-fire potions by thieving the Phoenix Quill. The next quest is Creature of Frankenstein, basically Frankenstein, but RS version. This gives us the Ring of Charos, which we're about to pickpocket from him to end the quest. Now, in order to make that ring better, we need to do the Garden of Tranquility quest because it gets enchanted to become an activated Ring of Charos. So to do the Garden of Tranquility, we needed to get up to 25 farming. So we're just doing some basic early game allotments to get up to 15. And because we only care about playtime, we can log out and wait for everything to grow. So this is our last patch here in already in player-owned farm, which is going to be our mainstay of where we train farming after this. So once we're 15, we switch to oak trees, and we kind of do the same concept where we plant everything and let them grow. So after harvesting from all of the trees, we end up getting to 22 farming, which is just a little bit short of the 25 requirement. So I go back to all my allotments, which I replanted, and make sure we get up to 25. And I think this last tomato, there we go, we got up to 25. We'll pick this rosemary. And this quest will also give us experience in farming. Now, capping is going to be how we train woodcutting early on. So we're going to do our 900 resources gained each week, which will increase our fealty. As you see here, when I activate the avatar, it's only giving us 3% experience, but eventually that will go up to 6% as we get our fealty up to 3 by capping every week. Now we can claim our experience here for doing our cap, and because I'm going to go back and train fire making, I'm going to do fire making as mining will get BXP from the Gophonon amulet, which you'll see later in the episode anyway. So we're starting the Garden of Tranquility, which is essentially making a beautiful garden for the queen. So we went ahead and planted everything, but we need everything to grow. So in that time, instead of logging out, I went and did the Sea Slug quest. This will start the fishing skill, get us all the way up to level 24 from level 1 with no requirement. So again, pretty killer quest. It's actually really nice to get these early levels out, because even with DXP, they take a while, and I'm going to be doing those quests anyway. Now, Wolf Whistle is the druidic ritual of summoning. It essentially unlocks the skill and gives you resources to help you boost your way through the early levels. So we had to make this giant Wolpertinger pouch to save this guy from being cooked into a stew. There's the Wolpertinger. It's actually pretty menacing and impressive that we could do that at level 1. Nice little cutscene here. We save this guy, and then pick up sticks will go give us our reward. And my interface keeps breaking here, so eventually I get rid of that action bar on the left. But with the 275 charms that we got, I went ahead and bought some early secondaries to be able to be used. And basically what you do is you make the pouch, deposit them all in the box, and then you buy the item again, and you rinse repeat. And now I'm doing this with the spider carcasses as I'm level 10. And eventually I'll be doing that with the granite crabs at level 16. You see here, and we're getting about 1,000 experience per inventory right now, and we're all done and got up to 27. I believe we need to get to level 42 for a quest. So as the Citadel has reset, we can come back here and get our experience up even more. So we got 49 agility, and we're up to 34 woodcutting. And now, because the week has rolled over, we'll have 4% boost here. You'll see when we activate the experience boost, we get plus 1% from fealty and plus 3%. And now we're going back to fire making, because we need to get 5k short of 62, so that the all fired up quest will bring us to level 62. And with that, we're able to get the flame gloves, which will give us 2% more fire making experience. We don't want to go any higher, otherwise we're wasting time. We go through and do all these logs, and we use the pulse core trick again to burn mahogany logs at level 49, even though the requirement is level 50. So we have this thing called a Wrath XP boost scroll in our inventory. It essentially gives you 10% experience for a week. The account started with one because I made it with the Wrath program. We also got 50 agility here, 60 fire making, which allowed us to do U logs, and now we're 5k short of 62, so we can leave the fire making world and instead go to the crafting world. So we're going to be cutting gems now, all the way up to 84. And normally you have to right click to find it, but if you configure the crafter, you can now left click to cut. So we're going to be cutting gems, as I said, all the way to 84, through Sapphire, Emerald, Ruby, Diamond, and eventually Dragonstone. So the experience is going to be really quick. I suggest looking in the top left corner to see how quickly we get through these levels. You see we're already 34 and on to rubies, 43 and on to diamond, and we're about to hit 55 or 54, and we're on to Dragonstone. So to get to 55, or to get all the way up to 70 took about half an hour from level 22. And now we're keeping up with the Dragonstone, and we're at 80, so only 4 levels to go. And this is over like 1.8 mil experience per hour, so it's really good. And we hit our 84 crafting, which unlocks every single urn in the game, so we can always use urns. And I thought while I was here, I would use up all my fletching supplies. So we're going to do iron arrows to 30, steel arrows to 45, and then use up all the mithril arrows. Sorry about that. It seems the microphone wasn't plugged in correctly, so the audio for the last, I don't know, recordings is gone. So I guess we'll just have to deal with that. So I might just do a sort of voiceover on the previous clips. But basically, in summary, we got 84 crafting, 53 agility from Silverhawks, and we're now working on fletching. I'm just going to use up my leftover steel arrows. I should be going to mithril, but I have them here, and the amount of time saved from switching to mithril would be lost by going to the GE to buy more. I should mention the portable fletcher has a 10% chance of saving ammo. So that's when, like you saw there was 5, I got an XP drop and it stayed at 5. That's because it saved the ammo. So we're finishing up with our mithril arrows. You can see we're basically halfway through our DXP time. So the Garden of Tranquility quest is finally done, and we got our thing enchanted. So I'm going to go ahead and use all the keys I got from my quests. We're still going to stick those into Dunge. The actual lamps, though, I'm going to use those on mining. In Berthorpe to do another day of Divine Bird Snares. 74,000 experience. So the reason why we're doing the What's Mine is Yours quest is because it unlocks the Doric and Boric tasks, which overall give you 180,000 bonus experience in either mining or smithing. And because mining is a painfully slow skill, we're going to be doing that. Let me start the quest. And the What's Mine is Yours quest is complete, unlocking the task. So this first task, all we need to do is take 4 iron bars and make an iron fulham 1 out of them. Here's that first one. Now we can do the second and the third one as well. Hey, we got agility level 54. Silverhawks coming in strong. We have our reward. And we've completed the task for the goblins, giving us 750 smithing experience and all that BXP. Additionally, while we're in Falador, we're going to buy a house so we can train construction later. As you see, there's a Lumite injector. That's why we're getting 22 progress instead of 20 as we were getting before. There we are, 40 smithing. We're going to do the next Doric task right after this, which will make us make a burial armor set over here. And then we're going to be doing burial plate bodies all the way. So burial armor, you basically destroy the item. So as I was making this mithril, I still have this mithril plate body +2. But now that we're at the adamant tier, which is at level 40, I can now turn that adamant plate body +2 into a burial plate body, which you basically get rid of the item. We finished our burial set, and we get our quest reward done. And we got 55 agility from our Silverhawk boots. This is the last Addy plate body. As we're getting up to 50, which will allow us to do the next task and use rune from 50 to 60. Go. Dork task number 5 done. We got 5,000 smithing experience, which got us 51. And there we have it. 60 smithing means we can move on to the next tier. I'm going to finish up this rune burial plate body. But we're going to start off with a bird snare as usual. Get some hunter levels. We're 47. We need to get to 51 for quests, and then we're going to move away from hunter and focus on other skills for divine locations. We're getting 112 experience every time. The only problem with this is that it takes inventory space with every click. And we're level 30 in fishing, so tomorrow when we come back to this, we'll be able to do our salmon bubbles, which will give us 70 base experience instead of the 50 we're currently getting. And he wants us to make an Ori Calcum Warhammer 3. So we've activated the Fremnik Lodestone. This is going to be really useful when we start Slayer, because a lot of the low-level creatures are in the Fremnik Slayer dungeon. There we go, 8,000 smithing experience and 24,000 bonus experience. We are getting 159 per high heat hit on the plate body, which with 3,000 hits per hour equates to about 460,000 experience per hour. We're about to hit 65 smithing, which will allow us to do the next Bork quest. And there we go. The Doric task number 7 is complete. We got 12,000 smithing experience, which got us level 66, and 36,000 charges, which is essentially 36,000 mining BXP. We just reached level 70 with about 10% left on this plate body, so we're going to go ahead and do the quest, and we get our reward. So 20,000 smithing experience and 60,000 mining BXP. And the experience is coming in quick. Before we even finish our first plate body, we're going to get all the way up to level 71. We're going to pick up our next reward here. Solemn Smith number 2, an extra 1%. And there we go, 80 smithing. That grind is done. We now have 2 of the 3 skill unlocks for invention, and we're not going to touch the skill until we have invention again. We went all the way, we got about 15,000 Slayer experience for that Reaper task, so we're up to level 39 Slayer. So we're going to be starting the Family Crest quest, where we help 3 brothers get back together. We have the Family Gauntlets, which we are going to then change right into the Cooking Gauntlets.